Hello and welcome to glennzb TV, the show that puts glennzb up your Periscope. I'm bringing New Zealand to the world and the world to New Zealand. And what's the story with people wanting to do things to Quokka? A Christchurch property developer will be back in a Perth courtroom today on charges of animal abuse. He allegedly threw a quokka off a jetty on Rottnest Island on Friday night. Luckily, this is my favourite part of the story, the protected marsupial managed to swim to shore. And I think it may also have been heard saying, not again, because, you know, in my quokka research, I mean, we all know what quokka are about, right? Yes, you do. Come on, Google quokka. You've heard of them before. Don't you remember when two men were charged for kicking a quokka on Rottnest Island? What about the French tourists who burnt a Rottnest quokka and who chose to go to jail rather than pay $4,000 in fines? You don't remember that story? What about when the Western Force rugby team faced serious accusations and possible fines and an eternity being molested by demons in the darkest pits of hell? This is a quote from an article on the internet. After a recent bonding trip to Rottnest Island, the players were accused of tormenting and torturing countless small endangered marsupials called quokkas. Why? Why do quokkas make people so angry? They're just little marsupials. There's even an online petition to stop the abuse of the quokka. It's got a goal of 4,000 signatures, has only made it to 3,113 so far. That seems slow going. People really hate quokka. Why? I don't know. Let me know. While we're in Australia, a teenager is undergoing surgery to his arm after being bitten by a crocodile in a far north Queensland river. It appears that what he did was he jumped from the wharf in Innisfail Esplanade into the Johnstone River just before 2:30 in the morning and was attacked. So my advice really is, when you're in North Queensland, don't go in the water because there are crocodiles there. It's not complicated, people. Avoid the quokka in Western Australia. Northern Australia, don't go in the water because there are crocodiles there. Back here in New Zealand, of course, we shoot dogs when they chase aeroplanes. Auckland Airport is investigating the fatal shooting of the bomb detector trainee puppy Grizz. Now, I mean, they had to do something. I would have thought, well, can't you just let it get run over by a plane? I wouldn't have thought that a dog is going to do a plane that much damage, to be honest. My brother used to have a dog, used to chase cars, and that was annoying. And then it got run over by a car once, and it got up after that and then ran after the next car. Because dogs, unlike cats, are stupid. I do wonder if this story would have garnered quite so much international opprobrium if this wasn't the picture that we kept seeing of Grizz. I mean, that's your... Like, if it had been this picture instead... I mean, that's not Grizz, but I'm sure Grizz has his angry moments. If it had been that picture... and not that picture, people wouldn't have felt quite so sorry for him, really. And I thought, who does that remind me of today? And then this guy came on Fox News, and I just thought, he's got the same sort of sad, beaten down kind of look. Not that I'm suggesting that we should shoot Paul Ryan if we see him running around an airport. Do you reckon, is that what quokka look like? Is that why people hate them so much? It's an animal-themed vidcast for you today because humpback whales are suddenly hanging out in massive, densely packed supergroups. I know, this story has totally gone under the radar. Or is it under the sonar if you're talking about whales? I don't know. Scientists are trying to figure out why they're hanging out in supergroups. It's very curious. It's off the coast of South Africa. I mean, a lot of curious stuff happens around South Africa, of course, and so this is just another edition of that. It's far away from where whales normally meet. The groups, there's 20 to 200 of them, and some say they've joined from a long, long way away. Humpback whales aren't known for being social. They're usually spotted alone, in pairs or in small groups. They don't stay together long. So I'm figuring somebody just put out a Facebook post and it's got out of hand. Is that what's happened there? They're up to something, those whales. They're probably planning a quokka throwing weekend or something. Finally, in news that's not really animal related, it's trying to play everybody's favourite game, Guess the Habit. New Zealand rapper Scribe says he's going into rehab to deal with addictions. We don't know what those addictions are, but all we know is that for 3 months he'll be in a facility where he'll have no contact with the outside world, no phones, no computer. I think Nick Willis probably knows what kind of addiction we're talking about there. I am Glenn ZB. Thank you so much for having me up your Periscope for this animalistic edition of Glenn ZB TV. I'll see you back here again tomorrow.